left my heart in California. I let it go deep into the blue. I could be happy in California. I would be fine with just me and you. Now don't go changing your heart. We gotta keep the blue. We gotta keep the blue.
My name is River West, and I'm a photographer.
By the shore.
I've always been a storyteller. I've been obsessed with books and characters and really good narratives, basically since I could read. I didn't start really picking up a camera or using it until maybe like high school, late high school. And at that point, they were digital point and shoot cameras. They weren't anything that I was using. But in college, I decided to get a film camera and take a film class because I was like, that sounds artsy. I got a Canon Rebel film camera, and I went with Canon because it was my grandfather's shot, and he was like a bird photographer back in the day. So I started Canon, I still am Canon, and I did black and white darkroom photography back then. I didn't bother learning about like how to actually operate the camera, I just left it on auto. I really wish I would have listened to my professor because he was doing this lesson, I remember, about aperture and the correlation between that and like your film speed and everything, and I was like, I don't need to know any of that. Well, you do, but I still came up with some pretty cool shots, and I look back through my old work and I kind of see my eye. I started doing weddings accidentally, and basically I was taken along to second shoot a wedding with a photographer. I worked doing retouching at a studio after I graduated with a degree in English. I worked there doing that, and he's like, I need a second shooter. And I was like, well, I don't know how to use this thing, but I'll do it. So I went along, and I hadn't actually ever been to a wedding before either, so it was totally new to me. But I was like, this is so pretty, and there's so much stuff happening, and like there's just tons of stuff to be capturing and seeing and making art out of at every given moment. So I really liked it. I posted some of the pictures that I took. People are like, why don't you do mine? And I was like, well, because I don't know how, but somehow, obviously, I figured it out along the way. Okay, I do remember being really nervous about shooting a wedding for maybe the first year or two. I remember the first wedding I did, I literally felt sick the morning I woke up, and I was like, I'm so scared, I can't do this. Why did I say I would do this? What excuse can I come up with to not do this? Maybe I should just like throw myself off a building and then I can get out of shooting this wedding. Like, that's how scared I was to shoot this wedding. But I mean, like, I don't get nervous at all anymore. I love the grind of the wedding. I love it. It's just, I'm all day long. I love the chaos, the prettiness, the family connections, the challenge of doing every single kind of photography all in one day. I love it. I think every photographer, it doesn't come down to your gear. It doesn't come down to necessarily your experience. It comes down to your perspective, your voice, your narrative, see, storytelling. It's all about like the special touch you bring as a person to any photograph that you make. To me, one of my absolute strengths is working with people, and I especially enjoy working with people who are like shy, or who say, you know, I'm awkward in front of the camera, or you know, things like that. People who don't feel confident in front of the camera, I love working with them to create something that they love and that they see themselves, maybe like how I see them, as awesome people.
There's something really off about that.
something for someone else. You gotta give a little, just to get a little. Gotta give a little, just to. There's something about you. You don't care.
I would say my 35 1.4 is rock solid, and I could shoot a family session, a wedding, whatever, with just that lens. It gives enough variety of like the wideness of your perspective, and then it can also be pretty decent for portraits. Not too close up, but it's a great lens, and it is so sharp and fast and pretty. Love it. Although I really do love my 50 and my 85 and my 16 and my Can I just take them all, please?
What's unique about a Canon? Have you shot with something else?
Yeah, I've used Nikon, Pentax, a couple others that I don't really remember.
What do you like about the Canon?
I mean, it's just that I'm used to it, you know? I don't think one's better than the other. I don't really have time to be worrying about all that. I'm just, you know, doing my thing, and it's just a tool. It's like a hammer or a spatula. You can build a house or make pancakes with either. You just have to be good at using it. So I get a lot of inquiries, you know, just questions about what gear do you use, to how do I break into weddings, to how did you do this, how did you do that. And while I want to share and give, you know, newbies all the help that I have to offer, at the same time I've worked really incredibly hard to learn everything, to experience what I've experienced, and so it has incredible value to me. And so I do offer mentorships, and they're one-on-one because I've considered workshops, you know, teaching a lot of people at one time, and that's just not for me. I prefer to connect on a more personal level, so I offer one-on-one mentorships. And basically I guide people through my story, what I've figured out, and my approach to things, from everything to, you know, conducting the shoot and the back end work of like bookings and emails, to the follow-up, and, you know, where do I store my stuff? How do I store my stuff? How do I back up? Things like that. If you're interested in training with me, you can reach me through my website, which is at www.riverwest.co. My first big crush, photography speaking, was Jose Villa. He's a California photographer. His work is so dreamy and pretty, and a lot of it is film. Otherwise, I mean, just like my friends inspire the hell out of me. Like Kevin Lowry, for example, is like, that kid is going places. Look him up right now. He is an Atlanta photographer. He specializes in intimate male portraiture, and there's no one like him. So I'm very inspired by that. But basically, anybody who creates something interesting, I'm like, you inspire me. I don't care if you're somebody famous or just, you know, somebody new on the street.
If you had all the money in China,
okay,
and you could take the one place you would love to go and shoot, where would that be?
I'm gonna be so basic right now and say Iceland. I am dying to go. It's a beautiful country, and I mean, honestly, there's a bazillion places I want to go, but Iceland is very eerie in its beauty, and it's very moody and dark and a little bit odd, so I like that a lot, and I'm gonna go there. Just watch. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Give me something back. You don't think before you act, something really off about that. Give me something back. There's something about you.
I don't really, you know, it doesn't really matter to me if they're George Washington and Amelia Earhart, you know. I just love my people. So every session that I do, I'm completely in love with those people by the end of it. Yeah.
To shoot Amelia Earhart.
It was together with George Washington.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
Pretty cool. We'll work on it.
Yeah, okay. Time machine, you got one?
Well,
Working on it still?
cosplay.
Oh, okay. You're the best, Clark.